Welcome to Mr. Jack's Journey. That's what the channel's called. And I keep thinking I'm going to come up with one thing that I'll do, either camping or politics or genealogy or history. Can't do it. I like too many things. Every time I do a video, it's just whatever caught my attention at the time. Well, in the last episode, my cousin Mike and I went over to North Carolina to help with the cleanup. We worked with Samaritan's Purse to help with cleanup for Hurricane Helene. Today, it's just going to be one of the jobs that we did. We worked on 3 different jobs. Today, I'll show you what it was like to work with the tree removal. Well, say hello to my cousin, Mike. He's just a little older than I am. He grew up with 4 brothers. They lived in Alabama, and we lived in Mississippi. But we would often go over and visit. I don't think I could have done this without him. It was just a lot of help, a lot of support. We had not had much to do with one another for many decades, but I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago we reconnected, and it's been a wonderful thing to have him and his wife back in our lives. You can't really see what all was going on here. There's a huge tree limb up on top of the house, and while we were cleaning up the brush, there were 2 crews, one in the front of the house and one in the back. The back is to the left. These fellows were up in the trees, and they were setting up a series of pulleys and ropes so they could manage that tree limb, because if it slipped, it was going to go right through the top of the house. And here you can see it a hole above the trampoline. Okay, there you go. There you can see the tree limb. It was just about on top of the house. I think it was resting on the house, but if it shifted, it was going to go through the roof. So these fellas, was a real engineering feat. They were able to tie it off, and there was a director in the front of the house and somebody in the back of the house, and they had to coordinate the movement of that limb to keep it from going through the roof of the house. Now what they're doing here is, I think they've taken the stress off of the roof, but they're having to cut off some of these excess branches, because when the big part of the tree starts to move, they could pierce the roof. You know what's neat about this? These people don't pay anything for this. If they're waiting for their insurance company, or they're waiting for somebody local to call them, and I guess in this case, these people had put an ad on Facebook saying they needed tree removal. So somebody from Facebook had answered the ad, and they were going to come out. I don't think they ever did, but they were going to come out and take the tree down. Well, this cost nothing. I think Samaritan's Purse fulfills that biblical example of a good Samaritan. The vetting process, if you're in a disaster, contact Samaritan's Roof. An evaluator will go see if it's something that can be done. And if they think it's within the scope of the volunteers, they will get a group of volunteers. I think a team consists of up to 15. And the team will go out there and spend a day, 2 days. I don't know how much longer they will stay on a job. But they will do all of this work for no pay. They will do all of this work, and there's no charge to the storm victim. None at all. I don't know if y'all can see right there above. There was a series of ropes going up there. And, well, here you see him working on the pulleys. I don't know that guy's name, but my gosh, he was just a champion at tying the knots and directing the movement of that branch from the ground. Of course, coordinating with the director up on the roof. You'll see them shift from side to side. Here we are in the back of the house, okay, setting up the pulleys and the ropes. It was quite, oh my goodness, I thought it was really detailed. It took a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. Now, I had time to film this because we had moved most of the brush from around the house and had placed it in piles where it could either be burned or removed. So there was a lot of standing around time at this point. We had done all we unskilled people could do, so it gave me a good opportunity to film this. It was a gorgeous day, as you can see. These people stuck with the task. There's a good shot of the branch. It's almost a tree trunk. They estimated that to be close to 2,000 pounds right there, and could easily go through the roof. So what we're looking at here is this side of the roof getting the tree off, but on the other side there was some damage. It's amazing. The volunteers were up there with tar paper and I don't know any shingles, but they were able to repair the small holes that were in the roof of the house. The goal is to leave every job better than it was when we got there. I was kind of concerned about the terrain. As I said in the last video, I had a lot of knee issues. And I have flat feet. And my feet, what they call splayed, I guess. My toes don't point straight. You've heard of pigeon-toed. Well, that's where the toes point in. My feet turn out. They're flat, and the arches, there are none. My feet are flat on the ground. And it turns my feet out and kind of twists my ankles out too. And my family kind of laughs at me because I totter a little bit. So there was some concern on my part. It was unfounded. I'm not disabled. I don't want my family to know that. I'm not disabled. I just had to pay more attention. I had good shoes. My son bought me some hookahs. And that ended up being a good shoe for doing this. These volunteers were amazing. I met people from Texas. Now here we're in North Carolina. I met people from, I think as far away as Washington State. They come at their own expense, as did I. And if you are an overnighter, Good Samaritan will find a place for you to sleep in the church gym. You got to bring a sleeping bag and your toiletries and an air mattress. They'll feed you breakfast, I guess, and they will feed dinner. Well, Mike and I had gotten in on this way too late. They had no more space for overnighters. So we took the motor home and we had to volunteer for daytime, even though we were there overnight. We were there 3 days. So we fixed our own meals, or my wife fixed soups and salads. And so the refrigerator in the motorhome was pretty well stocked. So it was good. I like having my own space, but the bad thing is you don't get to fellowship with these incredible Good Samaritans. I missed that. I was looking forward to it. I wasn't aware that we would not get to join them for meals or evening fellowship. I think I needed that. I would have enjoyed getting to know some of these people, hear their stories. Wouldn't that have been good for future episodes of Mr. Jack's Journey, to hear their testimonies, to hear why that they were there and what it meant to them to volunteer, to give so much of their time, their efforts, their energy, and costs money. You know, the people aren't paying anything. The storm victims paying nothing. But the cost, it's heavy. When you look, we were one team of 15. I don't know, there were probably 10 teams or more. I think in the last episode I showed pictures of the Good Samaritan trucks, and there might have been 15 or 20 work trucks, tool trucks. Now, Good Samaritan, in addition to the tool trucks, they had trailers set up for restrooms and showers. I was zooming in here because I thought, oh, there he is. I thought there was somebody up in the tree. Looking through the viewfinder, they were very difficult to find, but looks like I did find them. You know, this isn't their first rodeo. These people have been in trees before. They have the equipment. They bring their own equipment. Now, I think Good Samaritan provides chainsaws. Actually, they provided a lot of tools, but I think some of these people were professionals. It looks like it. See where they're climbing the trees. No, I don't think that would be for me. It looks like a lot of fun, but they're pretty far off the ground. Good Samaritan has guidelines, which is part of the orientation. They have guidelines for chainsaw use, the skills that are required, the spotters that are required, the distance that people are required to stay from the chainsaw operator. Safety was emphasized, and that's mostly what the orientation is. Only about 20 or 30 minutes, I think. But it's mostly about being safe. I don't know if you noticed earlier when they were taking the major part of that tree down. That was pretty skillful, lowering it where they did. There were 2 big propane tanks there. And, a wrong move could have been catastrophic. But they were able to lower that branch, that big tree, with no mishaps. When it got to the ground, it was just a foot away from those propane tanks. Somebody commented on the last video that they had considered joining their church crew and going over to volunteer. But the person who commented, let's call his name John, I forget what it was. He was concerned about his knees. And after watching my video, he wished that he had done it anyhow. Listen, do you see more than a handful of young people there? You don't. These are people in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Everybody's got pains, aches and pains. But there was a determination I think they had, and it might have rubbed off on me. There was a determination, no, this has to be done. We get really no recognition for it. I don't want any recognition. I got more than enough from doing this. At the close of every job, as you can see here, there's a Bible presentation. Everybody signs it. All the volunteers sign it. The family is invited to come out, receive the Bible. Then they're prayed with.
On this beautiful day, we get to leave them better than we found them. Father, we thank you for the ability to do this work. We thank you for the opportunity that in blessing others, we get to be blessed. And thank you so much for all your gracious and goodness, and we say these things in Jesus' name.
So thank you for joining me for this one. Tell your mom and them I said hey, and I will catch you on the next video.